HD 97.7.2, WZZN-FM Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. Talk Radio, WZZN.
I'm Lauren Simonetti, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Stocks are gaining with negotiations expected in the Middle East conflict. Oil prices slid after President Trump called off planned strikes against Iran. Amazon's market value topped $3 trillion for the first time following last week's upbeat earnings. Amazon shares are up 5% today. Factory activity in the U.S. grew past expectations in July. The ISM's Purchasing Managers Index, which surveys manufacturing firms, was 55.6 in July compared with 53.3 in June. J.P. Morgan Chase says it's investing $750 billion through 2035, part of an initiative to support home ownership in the U.S. Canada's WestJet says it has reached a tentative agreement with flight attendants. It canceled hundreds of flights over the weekend after flight attendants walked off the job on Sunday. That is your Fox Business Report. I'm Angelo Bavaro, invested in you.
The world of business moves fast. Stay on top of it with the Fox Business Rundown every Monday and Friday. Fox Business reporters, anchors, and hosts will bring you beneath the stock market speculation and boardroom drama to tell you about the biggest business stories of today. Whether you're on Main Street or Wall Street, Fox Business is invested in you.
Listen to the Fox Business Rundown every Monday and Friday at foxbusinesspodcasts.com or wherever you download your favorite podcasts.
This is Talk Radio, WZZN.
1819 News.
The Alabama school superintendent, Dr. Eric Mackey, says that artificial intelligence is here to stay, and it's now the task of educators here in Alabama to help students utilize it ethically. Mackey spoke about the subject on Capital Journal, which is a program put out by Alabama Public Television.
What we need to know, and what all of our students need to know, is how it works, how to use it ethically, and how to safeguard yourself against the dangers and biases that might be built into it. So we're working on that now.
I'll be back with more Alabama stories after this.
Did you know that 70% of people experience a potentially traumatic event in their lifetime, and that 6 out of every 100 adults face PTSD every day? Help us bring hope to these survivors by signing up for your Alabama Distinctive PTSD Awareness license plate today. The great thing is you can sign up no matter when your current plate renews, and the first year is complimentary. All you need is your VIN number on hand. Drive awareness, drive hope, and customize your plate today at atease.org.
A shootout occurred in Huntsville this past weekend, causing one person to die and 4 others to be hospitalized. The victim in this shootout has been identified as 26-year-old Vontrell Moore of Talladega. The shootout occurred on Sunday morning, with police alerted to it happening when they found 2 of the victims injured by gunfire inside a car on Grizzard Road. So far, police believe that an altercation emerged between a group in which multiple people started firing at each other. The city of Pelham is moving forward with plans to redevelop the area where the Oak Mountain Amphitheater once stood. That amphitheater was demolished last year. The city has now entered into a consulting agreement with GenRev Properties in order to determine how to make that land into a community destination. This will involve environmental reviews, feasibility and market studies, as well as financial planning. I'm Andrea Tice.
For more news affecting Alabamians, go to 1819news.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the daily newsletter.
This is Talk Radio, WZZN.
Tom Abraham here for my friends at All About Water. Crazy name, huh? Well, let me introduce you to them. All About Water is the top pond builder anywhere in the Tennessee Valley, and that includes remodeling or cleaning out existing ponds as well. They also have monthly maintenance plans for your pond. Don't have a pond? Well, how about a fountain or water feature for your property to bring that soothing sound of running water to your happy place? On the other hand, maybe you have water on your property that you don't want. Well, Ryan at All About Water is all about water, so he could take care of that as well. He has a background in fluid dynamics, and what that means is that he could take care of any water issue that you have. Finally, how about that irrigation system that you have or that you want? Well, they do installs and maintenance and repairs on those as well, because they are all about water. Learn more at allaboutwaterllc.com. That's allaboutwaterllc.com. Tom Abraham here for my good friend Bobby White at Lynn Leighton Ford, where you never find some mysterious dock fee that can be like $600, $700, or $800. A dock fee is an add-on that some dealers will charge just to do the paperwork on your deal. Now, Wes and I just bought F-150s at Lynn Leighton, and we're amazed at the ease of getting the deal done. Transparency is important in buying these days, and that's what you get at Lynn Leighton Ford in Decatur. Lynn Leighton offers an extensive new and pre-owned inventory, as well as lease specials, finance options, and expert auto service. They are dedicated to providing exceptional customer service and are an integral part of our community. Believe me, it is worth the short ride over to Decatur to see what Lynn Leighton Ford has to offer, just a mile west of the Beltline on 6th. At Lynn Leighton, there are no mystery fees, just great prices. It's the Lynn Leighton way. We made the move, and so should you, to Lynn Leighton Ford.
Welcome to Southern Wagyu Steakhouse and Meat Market in Huntsville. From hand-cut premium steaks and chef-crafted Southern favorites to phenomenal made-from-scratch desserts and restaurant-quality meats you can take home. Every meal is made with passion and served with genuine Southern hospitality. Join us for lunch or dinner. Attend a monthly 5-course supper club or stop by to stock up your grill. You'll see that we deliver excellence from prep to plate. Southern Wagyu Steakhouse and Meat Market, corner of Highway 72 East and Jordan Road. Come taste the difference.
Your Fox 54 update.
I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A partly sunny sky this afternoon. Temperatures only climbing into the mid-80s, which is well below where we should be when you consider the fact that it is early August. A couple of passing showers are going to be possible through the heart of the afternoon, but I do think the vast majority of us are going to be dry. We drop into the mid-60s as we head into the overnight. Much the same for your Tuesday.
Your Fox 54 forecast. Only on Talk Radio WZZN. This is The Point with Bill Crawford on Talk Radio WZZN. A compassionate, conservative, reasoned voice. Not just for today's headlines, but for issues that matter to you. Perspective from a distinguished career of service in the U.S. Army. Courage from hours in the pilot seat of a military helicopter in war and in peace. Knowledge of cultures from around the world. Experience from a lifetime of service to America. What matters to you, from the dinner table to the halls of power. Conservative, compassionate, reason. That's The Point.
Welcome, fellow Alabama friends, citizens, and patriots. Glad to have you with us as we start August, literally the last month of summer. Although it's still hot in September, it's August 3rd, and we are glad to have you with us. Glad that you decided to take a little bit of your time to start your week with us, and also somebody who always starts the week with us, and we are glad she's with us in studio today, is Fox 54 news anchor, Miss Kenesha Dees. Kenesha, how you doing?
I'm doing well. Hello, hello, hello. Happy to be back. And you said it, Bill. We rounded out the last weekend of the summer vacay because the kiddos are returning back to school very soon.
We're going to talk about that a whole lot later on because the kiddos are returning back to school. And just out of curiosity, was that a favorite time in your life, or was that not a favorite time?
It was exciting, especially when you have your new outfits, be it uniform or non-uniform. I would say through elementary school, I wore uniform. And then when I got to middle and high, then I started wearing, my clothes. But when you get the first outfit of your school year, the new pair of shoes, the supplies, it's always exciting.
Well, that is, I think, when you're a little guy. Yeah. But I can tell you this, returning to school at the U.S. Military Academy at West Point literally felt like you had been on parole from prison and you were being returned against your will. So,
oh, goodness.
But we will talk a lot about that just a little bit. But some of the current news that we're going to chat about for a while is the Perform Act. And you can go ahead and start the conversation on that.
Yes, we talked about it last week, actually, exactly a week ago, and how Congressman Dale Strong had introduced the bill that Friday prior to our chat on Monday. So Perform Act is essentially holding postmaster generals accountable for the performance of post offices, and it affects their bonus pay. And so we interviewed Congressman Dale Strong, and he expressed how here in North Alabama we've had some trouble, overflow of mail at different post offices, and we could name a few of them: Owens Cross Road, Harvest, Athens, other parts of Huntsville, even Meridianville. We've had an actual postal worker speak with us, which was a first. We've heard a lot about the residents' complaints, but we also are hearing from a different angle, and that was postal workers, they're going through it too. They feel overworked. And one of them also expressed pay. And so it's just an overall problem. And the goal is for the PERFORM Act to essentially hold the Postmaster General accountable by basing the performance of the post offices across the country to their bonus-based pay. So I guess it would be merit-based bonuses. So yeah, and what's new today is that not only did Congressman Dale Strong, along with other congressional leaders like Shamari Figurs and Barry Moore, Adderholt, Terry Sewell, Senators Katie Britt and Tommy Tuberville have introduced it to the Senate. So we have the House and we have the Senate now who are backing this bill.
Well, you know what is kind of strange to me? You know, there's a lot of bills that are really divisive and they're very polarizing, and they say, oh, it's one side versus the other. But frankly, I do not see any partisan politics coming into play when people are saying, hey, we want our mail system to work a little better. And just a little background information on that. The Postal Service, USPS, lost billions of dollars not millions, billions. And like you said, mail delivery is not reliable. A lot of people in this country, myself included, I get my prescription medication through the mail. Mm-hmm. And I've got to, when I order something, I expect it to come in. And, then again, there's bills, there's paychecks, Social Security checks, all that kind of stuff. Not everybody is my son and my daughter, where they do everything online. There's still some old fogies like me who rely a lot on the mail. And frankly, I just find it hard to believe how anybody who runs in a system, first of all, in the government, you don't really get bonuses anyway. And how can you get a bonus when the thing you're running is losing billions of dollars? That dog just doesn't hunt for me.
Wow. But one thing you said to your point about it not being a partisan issue, it definitely is a bipartisan issue, because I mentioned some of the other congressional leaders like Shamari Figurs, Terry Sewell. We know they're Democrats,
right?
And so this is an issue that I believe across the aisles lawmakers agree on, and we'll see how far this will go. Another thing that Congressman Dale Strong mentioned is that this is not just an issue local to us in North Alabama. This is something that's happening nationwide, which is why, this bill would be introduced to Congress, and something that other lawmakers across the country would perhaps jump on board. Maybe not. But this is not just a local issue. This is a nationwide issue.
No, I don't think, last year the postal system in 2025 lost $9 billion. And they didn't lose all that in Alabama.
No. And, as I'm learning more about this, of course, the Postmaster General would have to report, in their report, would have to submit the report within 30 days of the close of each fiscal year. And they would need to detail any bonus or performance-based pay given to senior postal service executives and the metric used to justify it, the agency's financial performance and service data at both the national and district levels. So I would imagine this is part of the process included in that bill that Postmaster General would have to do. It also reads the Postal Service Inspector General would then review the report and determine whether the agency complied. So there is a process, and I'm learning more about that process.
Oh, it's going to get more interesting. Brian,
what I was wondering about is if anybody's looked into if there's something systemic, because they have been having, over the years, they've had cuts, they've had rate hikes for postage, and just like every other business, fewer people doing more work. So, and especially it seems to exacerbated ever since they privatized the Postal Service. So what I want to know is if anybody's looked into if there's something systemic, and what they need to address to really turn this down. I mean, I'm all for accountability, but I just wonder if there is a root cause they need to address.
Well, I think one of the root causes, just from a layman's anecdotal perspective, they don't have enough people. I mean, you go into the post office and you might as well go ahead and bring a water bottle with you because you're going to be there for a while.
Yeah, the postal worker who we interviewed a couple weeks ago said that. And they worked at a local post office at Meridianville, I believe, and they did say that. But if you don't mind, I would like to piggyback off of what.
Go ahead.
When Brian, you mentioned systemic issue,
Mm-hmm.
one of the things that I found interesting that Congressman Dale Strong said was that he believes the problem originally started when, and please help me if I'm wording this wrong, but at one point here in Huntsville, your mail didn't have to go to Birmingham in order to come back to Huntsville.
Right.
And I don't know how familiar you all are.
Yeah,
with
several,
that.
gosh, maybe, it may even be as much as 10 years ago now.
Mm-hmm.
They moved the sorting facility to Birmingham. So all your mail, even if I'm going to send Bill a letter across Huntsville, it's got to go to Birmingham to be sorted and then brought back. And then it has to be sorted again for the routes. I use the post office that's on Maston Lake at Venona. And that's a great little post office. I always see the same lady behind the counter. She's always working too hard. But I got a side comment on that in a minute. But it's a good one. But then the drivers have to sort it again for their vehicles. And I've been by there a handful of times, and they've got everything out of their vehicle trying to sort it for their route. And they're standing out there in 90-degree heat in the parking lot trying to sort these, there was one guy who was sitting there, and he said he was resorting it again because he got everything packed up and ready to go, and then the vehicle wouldn't work. So they're still using those old Grumman LLVs. They still have not moved to the new Postal Service vehicles. So and just colloquially, those pieces were a piece of junk when they were new. So the Grumman's great at building aircraft. They're lousy at building four-wheel vehicles. But again, my post office it feels like a community center because everybody that goes to that post office, it's the same people all the time. And it's, oh, hey, I haven't seen you. Bill and I talk a lot about, it's good to be a regular somewhere. It's good to be a part of a community. And that's what this is. And there's fewer and fewer people there. Of course, I would say that since we have to wait longer in line, we get to know each other better. But it's always the same thing. So I wonder, have we cut it too deep? Have we cut too many people there trying to make it cost effective? And I think that accountability from the top down is a great idea to make sure that the money being spent is spent where it needs to be and not on a golden parachute.
Well, with that, I will recite a little thing that I remember from my early childhood days, and that is this: neither rain nor snow nor gloom of night will halt the postman from his appointed rounds. So let's remember that, Brian?
Yep. Of course, I also remember Newman from the TV show Seinfeld. He didn't like to deliver mail when it rained. It's wet out there.
It is. Well, hey,
now I will say this: of all the mail people, the ones that come make deliveries to my home and the post offices I worked at, you don't see Newman there at all. These guys work great, but there's just not enough of them.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and take a break, and we're going to come back and talk about back to school. Yuck.
You're listening to The Point with Bill Crawford on Talk Radio WZZN.
This is Bill Crawford, host of The Point on Talk Radio WZZN. I've recently had a stem cell procedure on my right knee from Dr. Charles Lee of Regenesis. Stem cells are harvested from your body and re-administered back into your body. This approach is painless, quick, and requires no lengthy rehab. My knee feels better already. Regenesis is located at 4025 Pepperwood Circle Southwest, Suite C, Huntsville, Alabama. Call 256-715-8193 or Google their website for more information.
Take it right to the edge with Donato's Pizza. That's right, with Donato's, they don't waste any space. And if you're going to put 100 slices of pepperoni on a pizza, you need to go edge to edge. And that provolone cheese is smoked and aged in Wisconsin. All of Donato's produce comes from right here in the Tennessee Valley as well. And Donato's is more than just pizza. Check out the subs, calzones, and wings as well. 2 locations in the Valley to serve you, in Madison on Madison Boulevard and in Huntsville on the South Parkway. Donato's Pizza.
Baumhauer's Restaurant. Legendary food and legendary fun. Whether you're craving the freshest seafood from Alabama's Gulf Coast, juicy chicken or char-grilled steaks seared to suck into perfection, you're craving Baumhauer's Restaurant. Add to that a sports-themed atmosphere and HD flat screens every place you look. For a sneak peek at the menu, go to baumhauers.com. Legendary food, legendary fun. Baumhauer's Restaurant.
Hello, listeners. I want to tell you a little bit about Minuteman Press and what we have to offer our community. We specialize in paper printing and can help from designing your piece to the finished product. We print media guides for many of the athletic departments at high schools and universities around the area. We typically purchase sponsorships from these schools as well, try and help them with their fundraising. Once we have reached our new normal, we also print all types of marketing materials for you to hand out either in person, via mail, or at various trade shows and events. At Minuteman Press, we're not just putting ink on paper, we're building relationships.
The company is Eagle Masonry and Insulation, but did you know they're also Eagle Landscaping and Dirt Work? Eagle can take care of all your landscaping needs, including irrigation, sod work, and planting, both plants and trees. On the dirt work side, Eagle can grade and build your pads, haul dirt in or out, and even do erosion control. Philip Love and his team can do it all for you. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
Tom Abraham here for my good friend Bobby White at Lynn Leighton Ford, where you never find some mysterious dock fee that can be like $600, $700, or $800. A dock fee is an add-on that some dealers will charge just to do the paperwork on your deal. Now, Wes and I just bought F-150s at Lynn Leighton, and we're amazed at the ease of getting the deal done. Transparency is important in buying these days, and that's what you get at Lynn Leighton Ford in Decatur. Lynn Leighton offers an extensive new and pre-owned inventory, as well as lease specials, finance options, and expert auto service. They are dedicated to providing exceptional customer service and are an integral part of our community. Believe me, it is worth the short ride over to Decatur to see what Lynn Leighton Ford has to offer, just a mile west of the Beltline on 6th. At Lynn Leighton, there are no mystery fees, just great prices. It's the Lynn Leighton way. We made the move, and so should you, to Lynn Leighton Ford.
I'm attorney Gary Lackey. I know your accident is the real thing, and they happen to real people.
I'm attorney Justin Lackey. There's a lot of talk right now about bigger, but when you've had a wreck, is bigger better?
I'm attorney Jennifer Lackey. Do you want to be just a case number?
With offices in Huntsville and Scottsboro, we take the time to help.
The Lackey Law Firm. The Lackey Law Family. 1-800-4-RIGHTS.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
Your home of the Rocket City Trash Pandas is Talk Radio WZZN.
Welcome back, everybody. It is Monday, 3 August, and it is hot. And we are here in studio with Miss Kenesha Dees talking about all kinds of stuff. One thing I do want to mention before we go much further down the road, something I did this weekend, I showed you my little piece of paper. My wife and I graduated from baby boot camp, and we were certified by my son and his wife to be babysitters of our little granddaughter.
Congratulations. That's too adorable. And I have the certificate right in front of me. Bill made sure to provide me a copy. Proof that he is official. He passed baby boot camp.
I passed baby boot camp, and I didn't bother to tell the one who was taking me through baby boot camp that a long time ago he was a baby and my wife and I raised him, but that's neither here nor there.
That's awesome, Bill.
Yeah, we enjoyed doing that. Speaking of little kiddos, guess what's happening this week, Huntsville? You better be ready because school is about to begin. And Kanisha, y'all did a lot of coverage on that, right?
Oh, yes, we did. Last week, we pretty much all of our reporters, such as myself, we interviewed superintendents at different school districts, just getting people prepared for back to school, what they can expect in these different school districts. We've covered everything from Limestone County to Morgan, Decatur, Florence. We just covered a lot of areas. And so I had the opportunity to sit down with Superintendent Dr. Clarence Sutton for Huntsville City Schools. As you know, Huntsville City Schools is the largest school district in North Alabama. And one of the things that we discussed was campus safety and also Huntsville's area growth. You know, Huntsville continues to grow by leaps and bounds. And so if you'd like, I could just briefly touch on each. So campus safety is regarding how since last year and a bit of this year, there were weapons found on campus.
Not good.
Not good. I remember you and I and Brian talked about not too long ago the discovery of a weapon at Grissom High School. Mm-hmm. And so because of that, you know, I asked the question, how are you all ensuring campus safety? One of the things that the superintendent said was communication was key. And the way in which they were able to find some of those weapons was because of tips from the community. And another thing that he touched on was the Open Gate weapons detection system. That was something that they installed a couple years ago because of similar issues prior to Open Gate being installed at every school. And so, at least high school. And so I asked him, well, you know, despite the weapons being detected at the schools, it proves that Open Gate works. And he said it works. And then as far as the growth in Huntsville, about a week ago, Huntsville City Council approved a resolution to allow development for like 1,800 new homes. And so according to the superintendent, they said they've already made the provisions to accommodate the influx of people who will move in. They said that they've made changes to McNair and other schools in that area that will accommodate those people the number of people who will be moving in. Because, you know, we have Space Command headquarters that's supposed to be moving here. In the future, we have Eli Lilly. There's so much happening in Huntsville. And from what I understand, Huntsville City Schools and the council, Huntsville City Council, are working together as a collaborative effort to make sure that, you know, the community is accommodating with the growth we're seeing.
Well, you know, one of the things I think is interesting about getting weapons into school, and just kind of a little tale from my life, is I went back to my little hometown a couple of years ago to Lawrenceburg, Tennessee, and I just wanted to go take a look around the school, and I couldn't get past the front desk. And I said, hey, you know, see that trophy case over there? That's my picture. Wow. I was the captain of the football team. You know, I was I'm all over this place. And they said, if you don't have a reason, you can't come in. And I didn't have a reason. And I guess they're enforcing stuff like that in Huntsville. And that is a good thing. You know, I'm glad that they have functioning metal detectors. And what else did you learn about our school that's about to open? Because I got some points too.
Sure. Well, I'll let you go ahead and share, and then I'll come after you.
Well, one of the things that I think everybody probably goes out and buys all the pens and pencils and all the stuff they need, but I did a little research on that, and I just have a few tips for those who are going back to school. One is every backpack should have a reusable water bottle. Not just a throwaway water bottle, but one that the little guys can refill when they need to, because it's going to be hot for a long time in Alabama. And when you're walking around going between classes, you might you might get a little bit dehydrated. So you need to have water available. And the other thing, I do this in my golf bag. You need a small first aid kit. And it doesn't need to have much in it. It can just have a couple of Band-Aids, maybe some chapstick, or maybe some cream to put on in case you're in a sunny area. But everybody ought to have one of those things. And if you have medicines that your little guys are supposed to take, make sure that's in there, and make sure that they know when to take it, and make sure that the administrators of the school know when they're supposed to take it, and they don't get in trouble because they think they're bringing them some nefarious type objects.
Right.
So that's a couple of my tips. Give me some more of your back to school info.
Well, speaking of backpacks, it's actually a really great bridge to what I'm about to share. So one of the stories that we can expect tonight in preparation of back to school, a lot of kids will be going back Wednesday. One of our reporters, Logan Alexander Russell, spoke with the Food Bank of North Alabama, and they're bringing back their weekend backpack program. From what we've learned, a lot of kids, thousands of kids at Huntsville City Schools, they depend on free and reduced lunch. And so, what happens during the weekend, when they're not in school and there's not food provided. So that's where the Food Bank of North Alabama comes in, and they provide the students with backpacks with food that the kids could take for the weekend.
So what, do they give them to them on Friday, and do they have to go by the food bank, or are those available at the school, or did you get that far into the story?
Well, Logan Alexander will tell us this. This is our little tease.
Tonight. Oh, okay. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned tonight, 5:30. She'll tell us all the mechanics and the details, how that works. But just the fact that there is a system like that in place is great. And from what I understand, this has been going on for a long time. I believe I was told about a decade. It's just been going on for some years, which I know will be helpful. And it reminded me, too, of during COVID. I remember covering myself. They had, at least with Madison County schools, they had a backpack program, too, where they were giving out lunches, and because, of course, the kids weren't in school because it was COVID. So it's sort of a similar sentiment with Huntsville City Schools. This is just over the weekend. But yeah, I think that's very important, because kids being able to eat is it's very integral to their learning. You can't focus on a hungry stomach.
No.
And so it's important too over the weekends when the kids aren't even in school.
Well, we had Bobby Bozeman on, who is the director of the Food Bank of North Alabama.
Yeah.
And that's one of you just reminded me, I'm going to go ahead and get him back on soon, because now is a very, very prescient time to have him on the show. How's that for a big word?
Fancy words.
Fancy word. And he talked about that when we were on, as he said, we realized that sometimes during school season, I'm thinking football, but when school's in session, sometimes the only meal these kids get is at their lunch at school. And so that's something that's good, and we're going to follow up on that. Brian, you got something for us?
Well, I was sitting there wondering if you'd done anything about school supplies and how stores are holding up with school supplies. I will say this. I've been over here sending texts back and forth with my friend Lee Marshall over the Kids to Love Foundation. If you go shopping for school supplies, pick up some extras, swing by your nearest CB&S bank and drop them off. That helps pack those backpacks for the Kids to Love Foundation. For folks, foster and adoptive kids, they need school supplies too, and it is a big thing. So if you see a donation basket, basically, I would say Kids to Love, but basically anytime a donation basket for school supplies, go ahead and throw some extra in there, because you're going to help a kid. This is the generation that's going to take care of us, so we need to take care of them. So again, Kids Love Foundation, School Supply Drive, CB&S Banks, go ahead and drop it off.
Well, one thing about school supplies, when my children were young, we would get this list of all kinds of things. Nowadays, they have it where they have some of the places have pre-packed lists. They say, here's what you need for Grissom, here's what you need for there. But that wasn't the case when my guys were little. And I remember one time, I still hate the thought of this particular item. It was called pocket folders with brads. And I went everywhere. First of all, I didn't even know what a brad was, but I had to find pocket folders with brads. A brad, by the way, is those two little metal things that open and close and hold the paper in there. But
we had to get those too, and I never once got them as a student. I mean, that we turn them in, and then they would just disappear. I don't know what they're doing. I guess the teachers are using them like currency or something. But I mean, we never used them.
Well,
that's funny.
I think mostly because we weren't allowed to use the hole puncher. There was an incident.
I have no idea. So what else is happening in schools or news or anything else around good old Huntsville, Alabama?
Well, this is more of a national story, but it's have some impact on us. The cases continue to grow here in Alabama, but just learned that about the cyclospora outbreak. Learned that there
cyclosporasis. I don't know.
Well,
whatever. Cyclo disease.
Well, so here's what helped me learn how to, because at one point I did have a struggle with pronouncing it. So cyclospora is the bacteria, but cyclosporiasis is the actual disease.
Okay.
And so, regardless, there are like 2 related deaths linked to the cyclospora outbreak in Michigan. Like that's the first reported cases of deaths linked to it. And I'm going to pull up our recent cases here in Alabama. I think I saw maybe at last check 28, but I know more has gone up since then. But yeah, now it's become a thing where people have reportedly died from this, and so we're going to keep our eyes on it. Thankfully, we haven't heard any cases, death-related cases here in Alabama, but we do know that like a lot of the reported cases, a majority of them, were here in North Alabama.
Absolutely.
Yeah, which is kind of like whoa.
And the thing that's kind of a little spooky about that disease, and I don't think I've got it. I don't think I've done anything to cause that, but it'll be like sometimes 2 or 3 weeks before it shows up in your system. And I can tell you this: I haven't eaten a lot of lettuce lately.
No. Well, it's funny you say that. Maybe my mind is deceiving me, but I could have sworn when I went to Chipotle this weekend, I didn't see the option for lettuce. Maybe I'm wrong. But when I got my bowl, I too did not have lettuce. And I thought, wait, I don't have lettuce in here. Maybe because there wasn't an option for me to choose. But yeah, people are, they're a little hesitant to get some lettuce now.
Well, I went to Publix the other day, and you know how they have buy one, get one, the BOGOs in Publix all the time. In the vegetable or fruit or whatever you call that section of the grocery store, they had a big stack of heads of lettuce, and they were BOGOs, and I didn't see anybody scrambling over there to pick those things up.
Now, we cheated. I never thought that we would do this, but I saw somebody. We actually grilled romaine hearts.
Really?
Yeah. You just peel out some of the extra leaves, and we threw those out for the birds. But romaine hearts, and you a little olive oil, a little salt, a little balsamic vinegar. They're really good.
How does that taste?
It's kind of like a tart slaw, if you're into that. We did that, and of course, the steak it was sitting next to was pretty good too. But it actually worked pretty good. And you have to be. It happens really fast because it's got a lot of water. You can burn it fast. But just a little kosher salt, a little balsamic vinegar, a little oil, throw it on the grill. I think it maybe did it a minute and a half each side. Just kind of roll them around a little bit, and fantastic.
Oh my God!
Now I know that some places will deep fat fry anything, but, like in Texas at the big fair. But I've never heard of grilling lettuce. I think maybe I'll try that the next time I fire up the grill.
Now it's kind of the hearts, kind of the tougher part of the head of lettuce, and we had some. We found it at one of the Publixes in Madison, and it was little lonely romaine heart sitting there, so we grabbed that and just did it basically like we would do like an artichoke or something like that.
Oh my gosh, to me that's like synonymous with fried ice cream. Like, what a concept! How do you even do it? But it sounds delicious.
Yeah, it happens really, really fast.
Yeah, I would say it has to happen really fast, or it ain't gonna be nothing left.
Right.
Well, one of the things I was looking at on the news, and I don't know if y'all have been covering this, but it seems like there have been a lot of vehicle break-ins in Huntsville. Are y'all tracking any of that?
Yeah. We not too long ago there was like video that captured those break-ins. Gosh, when you take some time off, everything is a blur. But I want to say we covered that either right when I got back or before I went on vacay. But yeah, we did cover that.
I've always thought if somebody either broke into my house or my vehicle, they would probably be rather disappointed and get out of there pretty quick. Just like if they hacked into my bank account, they'd say, we're wasting our time here, guys.
See, that's why I drive junk.
There you go.
Well, some advice, obviously, lock your doors. Because otherwise, if your door is unlocked, then it's easy access for someone who is looking to break into your vehicle. It's easy access.
I saw something too, is quit putting stickers of valuable things on your vehicle. Like there are a bunch of guys with really, really big four-wheel drive trucks and have stickers of their favorite firearm manufacturer stuck on there. Well, that means there's one of their favorite firearms in the truck. They have to bust off and steal it, and something bad happens. It's got your gun done doing it. Maybe not put that on there.
That's probably a good idea. Well, hey, one more thing before we slide off to break about going back to school. There's also somebody who's going to be going back to school, and that is going to be our law enforcement community. And they are going to be out. What's that operation? You
Zero in the Zone.
Zero in the Zone.
Yeah.
And that is an operation that takes place in Huntsville from August 5th through the 31st. And they have a lot more people manning the school zones. And last year they stopped 249 people and gave out 234 citations.
Wow.
And speeding in a school zone is it's expensive, and they're
as it should be.
As it should be.
Yeah, y'all watch out for the crossing guards and everything now, because those school zones are going to be active, and speed limit just means how fast you can go. You can go slower than that.
Yeah, that's true. And just be careful, folks. Anything else, Kanisha? I think we're staring the evil clock right in the face.
Okay, well, if I have like a couple of seconds just to piggyback off your Zero in the Zone, I know last week we also covered, I believe they're called safety patrol aides. They were trained by HPD or had like an orientation, which is part of the whole Zero in the Zone campaign. So everyone is basically, they're getting folks ready for the school year and letting them know, hey, we have people out here that are making sure that our kids are safe, but you got to do your part too in making sure the kiddos are safe when you're driving.
There you go. And it's not that hard to do. If you're close to a school, the best thing to do is just assume you're in a school zone, especially during the proper hours. So I guess, Brian, it is time to take a break.
Yeah, y'all check out Kanisha on Fox 54, Kanisha and all her Fox 54 compatriots. If you can't or don't get a chance to watch in the evening, you can catch it anytime on the Fox 54 Plus on Roku. I do the Fox 54 Morning Rush on the Fox 54 app. I can get my national news, world news, local news, weather and sports all right there in a neat little package. Convenient for me on the Fox 54 app. Go look that there. And you can get Kanisha anytime you want to on your phone.
There you go. And so we'll be back, folks, to wrap up this hour. Thanks for coming by, Kanisha.
All right. See you all later.
Okay.
You're listening to The Point with Bill Crawford on Talk Radio WZZN.
Take it right to the edge with Donato's Pizza. That's right, with Donato's, they don't waste any space. And if you're going to put 100 slices of pepperoni on a pizza, you need to go edge to edge. And that provolone cheese is smoked and aged in Wisconsin. All of Donato's produce comes from right here in the Tennessee Valley as well. And Donato's is more than just pizza. Check out the subs, calzones, and wings as well. 2 locations in the Valley to serve you, in Madison on Madison Boulevard and in Huntsville on the South Parkway. Donato's Pizza.
Bill Crawford here for the Regenesis Stem Cell Center, the place to go for golfers' elbow pain. Traditional treatments require significant time away from the golf course and often don't work. Dr. Charles Lee can treat golfers' elbow using platelet-rich plasma extracted from the patient's blood and get you back on the golf course after a 2-hour visit. Golfer's elbow can be permanently eliminated for a fixed price of $585. Golf season is here. Enjoy pain-free golf with just one visit to Regenesis.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
I'm attorney Gary Lackey. I know your accident is the real thing, and they happen to real people.
I'm attorney Justin Lackey. There's a lot of talk right now about bigger, but when you've had a wreck, is bigger better?
I'm attorney Jennifer Lackey. Do you want to be just a case number?
With offices in Huntsville and Scottsboro, we take the time to help.
The Lackey Law Firm. The Lackey Law Family. 1-800-4RIGHTS.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
TLG's Next Level software team tackles your automation bottlenecks, saving our customers precious time and money.
This resource is unique to Huntsville and Birmingham, and I urge you to ask about it.
From the largest to the smallest companies, TLG is here for you.
TLG is doing the right thing for all aspects of your company.
Just ask anyone.
Lynn Layton Automotive Group is a proud sponsor of high school sports in the Tennessee Valley. At Lynn Layton, we shoot you straight with no hidden dock fees just for doing your paperwork. These dock fees are often hidden in your purchase and can run as high as $700 or $800, but you won't see that at Lynn Layton. And Lynn Layton has all the major brands conveniently located in Decatur on and around the Beltline. Trust us, it's worth the short ride to get a great deal with Lynn Layton Automotive Group.
Welcome to Southern Wagyu Steakhouse and Meat Market in Huntsville. From hand-cut premium steaks and chef-crafted Southern favorites to phenomenal made-from-scratch desserts and restaurant-quality meats you can take home. Every meal is made with passion and served with genuine Southern hospitality. Join us for lunch or dinner. Attend a monthly 5-course supper club or stop by to stock up your grill. You'll see that we deliver excellence from prep to plate. Southern Wagyu Steakhouse and Meat Market, corner of Highway 72 East and Jordan Road. Come taste the difference.
Your Fox 54 update.
I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A partly sunny sky this afternoon. Temperatures only climbing into the mid-80s, which is well below where we should be when you consider the fact that it is early August. A couple of passing showers are going to be possible through the heart of the afternoon, but I do think the vast majority of us are going to be dry. We drop into the mid-60s as we head into the overnight. Much the same for your Tuesday.
Your Fox 54 forecast. Only on Talk Radio WZZN.
Welcome back, everybody. This is Monday, 3 August, and this is The Point with Bill Crawford and producer extraordinaire Brian Temple. Brian, I didn't really get a chance to ask you, how was your weekend other than grilling lettuce?
Well, it was actually pretty good. We were over at the old man's house, grilling out some steaks, and tried the lettuce thing, and that turned out really, really well. Same thing I would do for asparagus or maybe like bok choy or something like that. Pretty simple. It worked out really well, and we weren't worried about our lettuce trying to kill us.
Well, one thing I recently tried on the grill, and it really works pretty well, is if you take a peach and don't do anything to it, just leave it in the skin, put it on the grill, and let it cook up. And then you take it out and cut it open and put a little cinnamon and some whipped cream on there, and you've got one of the tastiest, easiest made desserts you've ever had.
Wow, I have never done it. Now, I've taken them and cut them in half and taken the stone out of it.
Yeah.
And grilled them real quick and then did ice cream on top of them.
That's kind of the same thing.
But having him at his own little dessert, that sounds fantastic.
It is fantastic.
I gotta head out to the orchard and get some peaches.
Oh,
I've been looking for an excuse to do that anyway.
Hey, I go to the farmer's market every Saturday morning and buy a whole basket of peaches, and that's throughout the week. My go-to breakfast now is peaches and yogurt and some granola on them. And
there you go.
It's trying to be a little more healthy, and so far so good.
Yeah, we're not going to get rid of you that easy.
No, you're not going to get rid of me that easy. But let's talk about some of the. First of all, one thing. Do you know what happened 492 years ago? 530 years ago today.
Thinking back that far gets a little fuzzy. What's going to happen? What happened?
That was when Christopher Columbus set off on his voyage from Spain that changed the course of civilization.
1492.
Columbus sailed the ocean blue. Well, when he did that, literally people thought he was insane because the citizens of Europe at that time, they firmly believed not just that the world was flat, but they believed if you set off on a voyage into the ocean in a direction towards where they were thinking they were wanting to go was Asia, they thought you would run into whirlpools, your ship would disappear,
run off the edge,
of the earth. And but he said, no, I don't think so. And so he did it, and it took him.
He didn't really understand that there was a whole North and South American continent sitting there. He thought he was in Asia for a while.
No,
he thought he was in India. That's why I kept calling them Indians.
Yeah, and he actually did not make it to Asia. He made it to, I think it was Barbados was where he stopped at, and stopped there, met the indigenous natives, and that really opened the contact between Europe and the Americas, which led to a whole lot of stuff. It led to good things like crops, animals, technologies, and Europeans got food such as potatoes, tomatoes, corn, chocolate, tobacco, and many things that really hadn't been there before.
And then the white man ruined it.
And then what happened was, guess what? The Europeans carried a lot of devastating diseases that the indigenous people had no immunity for, such as smallpox, measles, flu, and it killed millions and millions of those folks because of what old Chris did. But that happened today in 1492, many years ago. So it's not, I guess we still have Columbus Day here, don't we?
Yes, we do. It's also Indigenous Peoples Day for those who celebrate. Whatever you want to call it, I think it's still a day off.
It's still a day off. At least it is for the federal government and the banks. So I guess,
well, there you go.
There you go. Let's go ahead and take a break, and we'll get out of here and wrap this hour up.
I'll give you a tease of what's coming up next on The Point with Bill Crawford.
You're listening to The Point with Bill Crawford on Talk Radio WZZN.
This is Bill Crawford, host of The Point on Talk Radio WZZN. I recently had a stem cell procedure on my right knee from Dr. Charles Lee of Regenesis. Stem cells are harvested from your body and re-administered back into your body. This approach is painless, quick, and requires no lengthy rehab. My knee feels better already. Regenesis is located at 4025 Pepperwood Circle Southwest, Suite C, Huntsville, Alabama. Call 256-715-8193 or Google their website for more information.
Take it right to the edge with Donato's Pizza. That's right, with Donato's, they don't waste any space. And if you're going to put 100 slices of pepperoni on a pizza, you need to go edge to edge. And that provolone cheese is smoked and aged in Wisconsin. All of Donato's produce comes from right here in the Tennessee Valley as well. And Donato's is more than just pizza. Check out the subs, calzones, and wings as well. 2 locations in the Valley to serve you, in Madison on Madison Boulevard and in Huntsville on the South Parkway. Donato's Pizza. Tom Abraham here for my longtime friend Mike Owen of Owen Home Appliance. You know, Mike has over 25 years experience in the appliance industry, and since 2017, Owen Home Appliance has served customers in the Tennessee Valley with a focus on quality products, affordable prices, and excellent customer service. Owen Home Appliance prides themselves on community involvement as well, sponsoring local teams and events while making sure that you get the right appliance at the right price. Visit their highly interactive showroom in Lacey Springs, just 8 miles south of the river on 231.
There's power in caring when it is put into action. Each year, our bankers serve on nonprofit boards, support our local educators, and volunteer with our hometown food bank. I'm Bobby Humphrey, Vice President of Business Development for Bryan Bank, and community service is just not a line item in our mission statement, it's who we are. Because after all, Alabama is our home too. That kind of commitment to community might not be what you would expect from a bank, but it's exactly what you can expect from us. Give us a call or stop by one of our 2 offices in the Huntsville area and experience unbeatable service and legendary results.
Bryan Bank Equal Housing Lender, NMLS ID 2428943, member FDIC.
When you call most roofing companies, all you'll hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming. At Fleming Roofing and Restoration, we're focused on your needs, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement. Folks around here trusted Fleming since 1965 for all their residential and commercial roofing needs. And as the area's storm damage experts, Fleming knows all the ins and outs of the insurance claims process. Log on FlemingHSV.com to schedule your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
AL cert number 21014.
Welcome into the hottest and coolest game show around called The Freeze. Today's contestant, Bob. Bob, can you tell me the heating and air business that provides free service with repair?
Is it Talent Heating and Air Conditioning?
Can you tell me which heating and air business provides free second opinions?
Talent Heating and Air Conditioning.
You are a grand prize winner. You have won a visit from the #1 heating and air business in the Tennessee Valley.
Talent Heating and Air Conditioning?
That's right. Talent Heating and Air is coming to you.
This is Thomas with Talent Heating and Air Conditioning, and you don't have to win a game show to use us. We have free second opinions year-round, and this summer we're doing free service calls with a repair. So just remember, call Talent Heating and Air Conditioning at 256-503-4490 or visit us on our website at talenthvac.com.
Great food and the best live entertainment is what it's all about at the Furniture Factory Bar and Grill. Head to downtown Huntsville every Tuesday for karaoke on the only outdoor karaoke stage in North Alabama. Thursday night is the Valley's longest running and biggest bike night. Food and drink specials, giveaways, and live music on the patio. And the Furniture Factory menu is fully loaded with options from steaks to salads, plus a whole lot more. Featuring a weekday happy hour that starts at 3. 619 Meridian Street, downtown Huntsville, and online at FurnitureFactoryBarGrill.com.
Your home of the Rocket City Trash Pandas is Talk Radio WZZN.
He's still a soldier. His blood runs red, white, and blue.
Welcome back, everybody. Thank you for being with us today on August 3rd, the first Monday in August. And summer is starting to, not really, but kind of sort of fade in the rearview mirror once we hit August. Still a lot of heat left, but it is also the time where we can start thinking about other things, such as something that happens 33 days from now. And that is when the Army Black Knights open their football season at Mikey Stadium in West Point, New York, against the Bryant Bulldogs. And also we are 33 days until the Alabama Crimson Tide open their season against East Carolina at Bryant-Denny Stadium. And guess what? We're also 33 days away from the Auburn Tigers opening their season against Baylor, and they're playing in the Aflac kickoff game at Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta. And I know a lot of the Auburn fans are having hope that this is going to be a different year from the past year, and the Alabama fans are saying, hey, we just hope we can make it back to the playoffs and that we have a quarterback. And the Army fans are just proud to be Army fans. And that,
incidentally, if we've got, 2 out of 3 ain't bad. Yeah. We've got you covered. Army Black Knights football is going to be again on Talk Radio WZZN this year. Glad to have that back. Also, to go with that, Crawdad's Countdown to Kickoff, Army Black Knights football talk show will be on the Zone, our sister station, on Wednesdays. And 97.7 ESPN The Zone is your station for Alabama Crimson Tide football. So we've got you covered for everything. Auburn folks, well, 2 out of 3 ain't bad.
Now, 2 out of 3 ain't bad. And folks, it's about time I can almost hear the thump of the foot against the pigskin. So let's go ahead, Brian, and take a break, and we'll wait for Mr. James Lomax to show up.
All in the next hour of The Point with Bill Crawford.
This is Talk Radio, WCZN.
You invest in your customers with your heart, soul, and skill. Well, it's time to invest in yourself with the next generation Cat 255 compact track loaders from Thompson Tractor. After all, those who give their best deserve the best. And this machine has it all. With features that include a more powerful engine, tri-axle truck loading capabilities, a spacious cab, and a smooth ride for all-day comfort. Thompson Tractor knows how much value you place on your customer satisfaction. It's how you build your business. It's also how we build ours. Since 1957, hardworking folks like you have counted on Thompson to provide the absolute best lineup of equipment in the industry, all backed by a customer service and product support team that time and again have proven to be second to none. It's all about maintaining peak performance. Always has been, always will be. Visit ThompsonTractor.com for details. Thompson Tractor, we're here for you.
HD 97.7.2, WZZN FM Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. Talk Radio, WZZN.
I'm Maria Bartiromo, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Stocks are climbing as President Trump's latest pivot back to diplomacy in the Middle East sent oil prices sliding. Shares of Palantir are up 2%. The data analytics and AI company will report earnings after the closing bell today. Shares of GameStop are down over 14% after the company says it will swap $1.4 billion worth of debt for stock. Northrop Grumman shares are up about 0.5%. The defense contractor says it signed 2 multi-year agreements with the Pentagon and Lockheed Martin. Campari is pouring Aperol into new territory, targeting the beer-centric world of stadiums and concerts. The beverage company recently tried out a new way of serving that spritz cocktail at events where speed is of the essence. It was put on tap, eliminating the need for staff to do the mixing. That is your Fox Business Report. I'm Angelo Bavaro, invested in you.
From the Fox News Podcasts Network.
Hey there, it's me, Kennedy. Make sure to check out my podcast, Kennedy Saves the World. It is 5 days a week. Every week, we check in with Jimmy Fallon, bring in authors for the book club, and even treat some of your favorite Fox personalities to a very special happy hour. Download and listen at foxnewspodcast.com or wherever you listen to your favorite podcast.
Kennedy Saves the World. America's listening to Fox News.
This is Talk Radio, WCZN.
1819 News.
The Alabama Republican Party met this past weekend to prepare for the upcoming midterm elections. This also includes special elections that are going to be happening this month in the state of Alabama regarding 4 congressional districts. The meeting of the party members and the Republican Executive Committee is the first one to be held with the new ALGOP chairman, Scott Stadhagen. One of the major issues addressed during that meeting was the closed primary issue, especially after the Alabama Democrat Party's vice chairwoman, Tabitha Eisner, encouraged Democrat voters to cross over in the special primary elections and influence the outcome of Republican candidates for the upcoming November general election. The party voted unanimously to update the party's platform to be in full support of closing primaries and having a party registration. I'll be back with more Alabama stories after this.
Did you know that 70% of people experience a potentially traumatic event in their lifetime, and that 6 out of every 100 adults face PTSD every day? Help us bring hope to these survivors by signing up for your Alabama Distinctive PTSD Awareness License Plate today. The great thing is you can sign up no matter when your current plate renews, and the first year is complimentary. All you need is your VIN number on hand. Drive awareness, drive hope, and customize your play today at atease.org.
The Alabama School Superintendent, Dr. Eric Mackey, says that artificial intelligence is here to stay, and it's now the task of educators in Alabama to help students utilize it ethically and properly. Mackey was on Capitol Journal, which is a program from Alabama Public Television.
What we need to know, and what all of our students need to know, is how it works, how to use it ethically, and how to safeguard yourself against the dangers and biases that might be built into it. So we're working on that now.
I'll be back with more Alabama stories after this.
For more news affecting Alabamians, go to 1819news.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the daily newsletter.
This is Talk Radio, WZZN.
Bill Crawford here for the Regenesis Stem Cell Center, the place to go for golfers' elbow pain. Traditional treatments require significant time away from the golf course and often don't work. Dr. Charles Lee can treat golfers' elbow using platelet-rich plasma extracted from the patient's blood and get you back on the golf course after a 2-hour visit. Golfers' elbow can be permanently eliminated for a fixed price of $585. Golf season is here. Enjoy pain-free golf with just one visit to Regenesis.
In the market for a new or used car? Look no further than Hyundai of Decatur. With a large inventory of new, used, and certified pre-owned Hyundai models, Greenway Hyundai of Decatur is here to service all of your Hyundai needs. Come visit our exceptional service department as well. With state-of-the-art facilities and a caring team of automotive professionals waiting to service your vehicle, make Hyundai of Decatur your #1 choice for all your automotive needs. Give them a call today at 256-274-0279 or visit them online at greenwayhyundaiofdecatur.com.
You invest in your customers with your heart, soul, and skill. Well, it's time to invest in yourself with the next generation Cat 255 compact track loaders from Thompson Tractor. After all, those who give their best deserve the best. And this machine has it all. With features that include a more powerful engine, tri-axle truck loading capabilities, a spacious cab, and a smooth ride for all-day comfort. Thompson Tractor knows how much value you place on your customer satisfaction. It's how you build your business. It's also how we build ours. Since 1957, hardworking folks like you have counted on Thompson to provide the absolute best lineup of equipment in the industry, all backed by a customer service and product support team that time and again have proven to be second to none. It's all about maintaining peak performance. Always has been, always will be. Visit ThompsonTractor.com for details. Thompson Tractor, we're here for you.
We have been selling printer supplies for 50 years. Today, we've made it easier than ever to make sure our customers get the best price and the best support.
You can order supplies online with our guaranteed low prices, saving 40% and getting our award-winning on-site service for free.
There's no catch. Ask any of our customers. We want to be more than just a vendor. We want to be a partner in your success.
Your Fox 54 update.
I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. It's actually going to be a really nice night across the Tennessee Valley. Temperatures dropping into the mid-60s. I've got a low temperature right around 67 degrees. A partly sunny sky for your Tuesday. A couple of passing showers are going to be possible, but it looks like most of us are going to end up staying dry. Highs only climbing into the mid and upper 80s.
Your Fox 54 forecast. Only on Talk Radio WZZN. This is The Point with Bill Crawford on Talk Radio WZZN. A compassionate, conservative, reasoned voice. Not just for today's headlines, but for issues that matter to you. Perspective from a distinguished career of service in the U.S. Army. Courage from hours in the pilot seat of a military helicopter in war and in peace. Knowledge of cultures from around the world. Experience from a lifetime of service to America. What matters to you, from the dinner table to the halls of power. Conservative, compassionate, reason. That's The Point.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm glad you're tuning in to us today on Talk Radio WZZN. We'd love to hear from you if you want to give us a call, 256-382-0724. That's the number to the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline, and we will gladly answer the phone and talk to you about just about anything you want to talk to us about. Just give us a call. We'd love to talk to you. And one thing I forgot to mention, but today is a day that is celebrated by people such as myself and Peyton Manning, because today is National Big Forehead Day. that is an unusual day.
Your forehead's not that big.
Oh, don't ask my kids that. They make fun of me all the time. They say, you got the biggest head, Dad, in the world. So
well,
I don't know.
I wouldn't. I'm not going to dispute that it's large, but I mean, I don't think it's like the forehead is out of proportion to the rest of it.
Now, I'm not exactly Peyton Manning-ish, who has a gargantuan head, but
he's got a 5 head.
Yeah, he's got a
forehead. He has a 5 head.
He's got enough head for 2 people.
Maybe a 6 head.
Okay. Well, hey, you know what I really need to do, though, even though we just started? I've got to go let James Lomax in. So we're going to mess the clock up a little bit, and we'll be back in a bit.
Well, that's all right. We just kind of kill time here in the first segment anyway. So we'll be right back on The Point with Bill Crawford with our guest, James Lomax.
You're listening to The Point with Bill Crawford on Talk Radio WZZN.
Take it right to the edge with Donato's Pizza. That's right, with Donato's, they don't waste any space. And if you're going to put 100 slices of pepperoni on a pizza, you need to go edge to edge. And that provolone cheese is smoked and aged in Wisconsin. All of Donato's produce comes from right here in the Tennessee Valley as well. And Donato's is more than just pizza. Check out the subs, calzones, and wings as well. 2 locations in the valley to serve you, in Madison on Madison Boulevard and in Huntsville on the South Parkway. Donato's Pizza.
Bill Crawford here for the Regenesis Stem Cell Center, the place to go for golfers' elbow pain. Traditional treatments require significant time away from the golf course and often don't work. Dr. Charles Lee can treat golfers' elbow using platelet-rich plasma extracted from the patient's blood and get you back on the golf course after a 2-hour visit. Golfer's elbow can be permanently eliminated for a fixed price of $585. Golf season is here. Enjoy pain-free golf with just one visit to Regenesis.
Tom Abraham here for my good friend Bobby White at Lynn Leighton Ford, where you never find some mysterious dock fee that can be like $600, $700, or $800. A dock fee is an add-on that some dealers will charge just to do the paperwork on your deal. Now, Wes and I just bought F-150s at Lynn Leighton, and we're amazed at the ease of getting the deal done. Transparency is important in buying these days, and that's what you get at Lynn Leighton Ford in Decatur. Lynn Leighton offers an extensive new and pre-owned inventory, as well as lease specials, finance options, and expert auto service. They are dedicated to providing exceptional customer service and are an integral part of our community. Believe me, it is worth the short ride over to Decatur to see what Lynn Leighton Ford has to offer, just a mile west of the Beltline on 6th. At Lynn Leighton, there are no mystery fees, just great prices. It's the Lynn Leighton way. We made the move, and so should you, to Lynn Leighton Ford.
Looking for your next great round of golf? Take the short drive from the Tennessee Valley to the Bear Trace at Tim's Ford in Winchester. This spectacular Jack Nicklaus designed 18-hole course sits along scenic Tim's Ford Lake, featuring rolling fairways, challenging greens, and lake views that'll make the trip well worth it. Whether you're planning a weekly foursome, a company outing, or just sneaking in around, Bear Trace offers one of the best public golf experiences in the region. Book your tee time today at tnstateparks.com and play the Bear Trace at Tim's Ford.
This is Jen with The Haven, a private event space located downtown Huntsville. If you haven't been before, this is the perfect spot for your event. Whether it's Christmas, the holidays, birthdays, weddings, rehearsal dinners, you name it, I can provide that perfect event for you. We tailor everything just for your needs, from food to flowers to the band to drinks. You name it, we've got it. The Haven, located at Meridian Crossings, downtown Huntsville.
Welcome to Southern Wagyu Steakhouse and Meat Market in Huntsville. From hand-cut premium steaks and chef-crafted Southern favorites to phenomenal made-from-scratch desserts and restaurant-quality meats you can take home. Every meal is made with passion and served with genuine Southern hospitality. Join us for lunch or dinner. Attend a monthly 5-course supper club or stop by to stock up your grill. You'll see that we deliver excellence from prep to plate. Southern Wagyu Steakhouse and Meat Market, corner of Highway 72 East and Jordan Road. Come taste the difference.
At the Huntsville Sports Commission, we do sports. The Rocket City is your destination for world-class sports in North Alabama. The Huntsville Sports Commission brings elite tournaments, championships, and other exciting athletic events to our city. From youth leagues to national championships, we're driving tourism, boosting local business, and building a stronger, more active community. When you team up with us, we'll worry about the details so you don't have to. We do sports.
Your home of the Rocket City Trash Pandas is Talk Radio WZZN.
Welcome back, everybody. This is Talk Radio WZZN, and this is The Point with Bill Crawford. And Bill Crawford, that's me. Also, we have producer Brian Temple, and one of our most favorite studio guests is in here with us today, and that is State Representative James Lomax. Jay, how you doing?
Hey, Bill. Good to see you again. Good to be here.
Oh, it's always good to have you here. And it's also good to have you here when I turn your microphone on. So,
how we doing? Is that better?
We're doing a little bit better now. Thank you,
Perfect.
sir.
Good to be here.
Good to be here. Well, just a little bit of a brief introduction. If you've been listening to this show, you've heard James before prior to the primary election, but he is the state representative for District 20, which is my district, and that's Southeast Huntsville, Hampton Cove, and the Montesano Mountain. James actually grew up in District 20, is a graduate of Grissom High School, go Tigers, and received an undergraduate degree at UAH and also a master's degree at Lipscomb University. He is in the commercial real estate industry, managing over 1 million square feet of real estate development in Hunts Vegas, Alabama. He's married, has 2 young daughters, and they live in the Jones Valley area. And we're glad to have you with us.
Hey, I am glad to be here. It's an exciting time. You know, we're about 90 days away from a general election, which around the country I think is going to have some serious implications. But even here in the state of Alabama as well, we've got some big races.
Well, we do have some big races in Alabama. We've got, obviously, the governor's race. We've got the U.S. senator's races. I think, don't we have 7 congressional districts that are up also? Mm-hmm. And we also have state races, which is what James is running for, which you currently are our state representative. And tell us a little bit about what you do in the state house. Because I know for one who is who hadn't been there a long time, you've kind of making some steps up the ladder.
Yeah, well, no, it's been an absolute sprint-paced marathon, I think is a way to put it. So it is crazy. We've already been through 4 years in the legislature. I got elected in 2022. We've got 140 legislators in Alabama State. We've got 105 representatives. You've got 35 senators. Makes up our legislative arm of our state government. I represent about 45,000 people. Every state representative has approximately that amount. It varies a little bit depending on where you live and census data. But I think our district is one of the brightest, the most intelligent, has the most to offer. It's a beautiful place to live, and we just want to continue that way of life here in the city of Huntsville and promote that. And really the way I see it as my job is to go down to Montgomery and bring resources back to the North Alabama area, particularly Huntsville, to make sure that we have every opportunity to continue to do the things that we do so well here. And part of that message is sometimes poorly heard in Montgomery when you're essentially competing against all these people that you have to work with. But that's the life in the legislature. You see it play out in Congress at a much more toxic level. But here in the state of Alabama, we all work well together for the most part, and excited about what the next 4 years could hold.
Well, let me ask you this. I know we've been down this road before, but some people may be tuning in for the first time. Tell our listeners what was the aha moment that you may have had in your life where you said, "I'm going to be a politician." As part of my life, not my whole life.
That's right. Yeah. No, it came early and oddly for me, but I was 18 years old and I ran for city council here in the city of Huntsville. I was the youngest candidate for office ever, and became shortly after that the youngest loser. I lost. But what I realized, coming in that race is it takes a lot of guts to put yourself out there, to ask for money, to knock on doors, to ask for votes, to learn about public policy. And you get to see that you can make it such an impact on the area you live. And some of these races people don't give two thoughts about. They don't. You could go down my street, and unfortunately, and many people would not know who their state representative or their state senator is. They may know who their city councilman is just because they've probably complained a time or two. They know who their congressman is in general. But just realizing you can make an impact on a local level, and these local offices are so important, local and state government. Impacts your day-to-day a lot more than the people at the very top of the ticket that are running for president and vice president, et cetera.
Well, back in the day when I used to play the political game for the housing industry, I don't know if you've ever bumped into a gentleman named Mike Hill, who is,
sure.
I think he's the banking commissioner now, but he was a longtime state representative from Columbiana that I worked with a lot. And one thing he told me, we were just having a conversation one day, and I said, Mike, what are the most important races to vote for? And he said, state and local and county.
Yep.
He said the local guys are the ones who fix your street. The county guys are the one who make sure your county's in the right direction, and the state officials fund them. And I've always thought that was true.
Well, this is what's interesting. If you just compare, I mean, you can say political power is different in different ways, but just look at the amount of either discretionary funds or the ability to move legislation. A freshman state senator generally has more power than a freshman congressman on the federal level.
Oh yeah.
It perplexes me that we don't have more interest in state government. So I've tried to do my part on that. We the fourth grade field trips are continuing to fund those that allow every fourth grader in the state to participate in state government by coming down and visiting the Capitol. But we've just got to get more people involved in the process. I am excited that they're building a new state house, not just because I'll be there, but the current state house is not accessible to the public, doesn't have telecom equipment or availability. It's not handicap accessible. So it's got a lot of issues, but it's just really important to get the public involved in the process. I can't tell you how many times I've had a committee meeting and there's not a single member of the general public in there.
Well, there's a lot of reasons for that. You just enumerated quite a few of those. One thing, just kind of sort of a sidebar, we've had discussions with other people on this show about the ratio of representatives. And like right now, I think the current ratio for a U.S. congressman is 1 to 720,000, which is not at all what was intended when the framers of the Constitution developed our government. What they actually had intended was something more like what you represent, which is 1 to about 50,000. How can we rectify that? Is there a way to rectify that? I mean, I did the numbers playing with just reducing the ratio to 250,000, and that gives us 1,100 and something congressmen, which is kind of sort of big. But is the number 45,000, is that a good number for a person like you to represent? Can you actually kind of sense what they need when you have a lesser amount of people like that?
Yeah, it seems to be. I always joke all the time, I don't know how the state senators do that, because they essentially triple the amount of people that we deal with in the state representatives. But, I think it just boils down to, are you willing to listen to your constituents? And the listening obviously looks a lot different. Like you can't logically expect that, like for instance, Congressman Dale Strong is going to be able to have a personal phone call with every constituent in his district.
Not at all.
The medium of communication has to change, but there's still ways to do that. The modern political apparatus believes in polling quite a bit. I think there's some serious flaws in that, because polls are typically designed to get some sort of an answer, and it may not show the whole picture. There's teletown halls. There's other things to do it. I think it's just important. I give out my cell phone number to my constituents. Call me if you have a problem. I may not know the answer. I probably won't know the answer. But the good news is now I've been doing this for 4 years. I've got the Rolodex of people that probably do know the answer and probably can get you in the right direction. So just the other day, I had a 70-year-old woman, and she had been married and divorced back in the 70s and 80s, and remarried, and didn't have all that paperwork, so wasn't able to get her star ID. And she called me very upset because she had to go visit her sister in another country. Wasn't able to fly, and so I was able to get that resolved with Aaliyah, and it was a very simple fix, but that's why your state representatives are there to help direct traffic and make sure that you're represented.
Well, by the way, I've got a lot of star ID stories that actually when I got mine, we had to go to Sheffield. Because, so
the lines and
we went over there, had dinner at George's Steakhouse, played golf, and made a staycation out of it. But let me ask you this: for a representative such as yourself, giving out your cell phone, I think that's a great thing to do. Congressmen have staffs. Are y'all staffed, or are you just a one-man show?
Not really. I get asked that a lot. Hey, can someone on your staff call me? Or that it kind of cracks me up because I'm like, you're looking at the staff. In Montgomery, we do have a clerk, and we share that clerk with about 3 to 4 other legislators. So that clerk generally just makes sure you have, documents on your desk that tell you what time your committee meetings are, or if you have any other pressing meetings. They don't really manage your calendar for you. They're not going to manage your email correspondence. There's some legislators that pay out of their campaign monies to have a secretary or an assistant. I definitely choose not to do that, but I do think it's the toughest part-time job in America, but I think it's one where you get to see the impact of your work a lot sooner than I think you would at dealing with some of the gridlock you see on the federal level.
Well, then let me ask you a question there, because I used to do this a little bit. If you want to draft a bill, and I know it's a lot of formatting and a lot of strange characters that come in do you sit down at the computer and draft the bill, or can you just go to someone and say, I want a bill that does this, this, and this?
I think that's a misconception a little bit, because otherwise I think it would take a lot of attorneys and given the technicalities, maybe even engineers to dissect some of the legislation. But we do have a very large, so I may need to take a step back. There is a very large agency within the state government, the Legislative Services Agency, that directly works for the legislature for the purpose of building laws, and there's a lot of reasons behind that. If I went out and just wrote one and put it out there, it may not be in the formatting that it needs to be in to fit with the Constitution. It may not reference something else that needs to be referenced. There's so many intricacies. The state of Alabama has the longest Constitution in America. If you printed it out, it's literally the longest. Just because every time we do anything, we pretty much have to do a constitutional amendment. That's the way it was built. So all that said, we do have a group of attorneys that they'll build legislation. So as long as you know the frameworks, the intent and the desire of what you're trying to do, and we'll tweak it. Sometimes they'll send me things and it doesn't quite do exactly what I wanted it to do. So we'll go back and make some adjustments, and then it's got to go through the legislative process, and that's where things get sometimes dicey anyways.
Well, now in your 4 previous years, have you actually been the author of some bills?
Well, I would say author in that I have authored the idea.
Okay.
I didn't, like you said, sit at a computer and type it out, because most of the bills end up being very lengthy just because they have to capture different sections of the existing Constitution. But plenty of my bills that I have had the idea either come from constituents, or I saw what another state was doing and I thought it was very innovative. A lot of it comes from just reading the news and being like, that makes sense. I think that we already do that in Alabama, then find out that we don't. And I'm like, well, let's see if we can do it. So I sit down with the team, and they're able to present the actual legal document, and I can review it and file it as a bill and go through the legislative process. And been able to do that quite a few times now. I'm very proud of some of the bills we've been able to pass. I was able to get a raise for our Poll workers, that was important to me. I think they're the first line of election integrity. That was one of the biggest ones, and just most recently was able to update our language as far as school threats and really protecting our schools and making sure there's a standard across the state on how you deal with school threats, and also upping the penalty to cause a deterrent, because some kids nowadays may think they're just joking around, and it ends up shutting down a school for a day and a half. And people should feel safe to go to school. And
well, didn't you have something to do with a grocery tax decrease?
I did. Yep.
That's a good thing.
I was pretty proud of those other two. I mean, we can go through a whole list of things I'm proud of. I was just hitting the highlights, but we just ended basically our grocery tax holiday. I was able to pass. That also included an overtime tax deduction. So the next time people in the state of Alabama file their taxes coming up this next year, they'll be able to get a deduction on if they worked overtime. And, anytime we can put money back in the people of Alabama's pocket is important. So going into next year, I think it's very important. We had the grocery tax holiday. How can we make that permanent?
Absolutely.
And so I always talk about this because some people think, well, it's just so easy, just cut taxes and all this. And you're right. In general, we should be reducing our spending, and we should be able to cut our taxes along with that. There's another piece of this, which is growing the pie. And that's where, you bring in more businesses, more industries, more jobs to your area. You make it more prosperous. You give somebody a life worth living because they now have purpose. They have a job. They have health insurance. Their family's taken care of, a 401k. And also that is growing the tax base. So you're able to then cut taxes because you've grown the pie rather than just taking a piece out of the smaller pie. So that's been really how we've been able to cut the $1.5 billion worth of taxes we've cut over the past 4 years, is by growing the pie and leaning into our economic development. You see the wins. I mean, you just saw it here in the city of Huntsville, $6 billion plant for Eli Lilly. It's the largest one-time investment in the state. I think that parlays into some of the other issues that are being discussed right now, like data centers.
We're going to get into that.
There you go. But I just harp so big on, look, I envision that we can be a state that doesn't have an income tax. We can be a state that doesn't have a grocery tax. It just comes down to, are we able to grow that pie to the point where we can still afford all our essential services? We can still afford, world-class schools, et cetera, and not just strip away, essential services to do it.
Well, now, speaking of growing the pie, and I honestly do not know your position on this. I'm just kind of curious. How much would the pie grow if we had a lottery?
It's a new revenue source, right? So, bringing in a new revenue source would allow us to get rid of another one. And I do think that's been highly discussed as we look at how do we get rid of the income tax to compete with some of these other states that don't have income taxes. But what I also like to point out is this. I get it all the time. Why don't we get rid of income taxes and some of these other ones? And they say, why can't we just be like Florida? Okay, well, if we took the exact same tax structure that Florida has, corporate tax, sales taxes, income taxes, property taxes, everything, and overlaid it over the state of Alabama government. There was a research study done by Parka, provides a lot of great information. But we would be taxing our citizens about $1.5 billion more than we tax them today.
People don't know that.
People don't know that. So, you're getting hit somewhere. There's some fine print. Maybe you don't pay an income tax in Florida, but your property taxes are 3 times what they are in the state of Alabama. Or maybe your sales taxes are higher.
And I don't know if you've noticed, but Disney World and Miami make a lot of money.
That's right. Yeah.
There's your income streams.
They've got the natural resources, so it's a lot different. But you can even look at other states that are close by. Tennessee, same deal. You'd increase your taxes by $500 million. Mississippi, you'd increase it by $1 billion. So, and then some of those states do already have the lottery in place, which is bringing in an income source. So, I'm not going to say the lottery is like it may be a shot in the arm. I don't think it's a long-term replacement for one of these major taxes that we would like to get rid of in the state.
Well, just a couple of my 2 cents worth on that. And actually, back when I was playing sort of as a lobbyist for the housing industry, I spoke to Bob Riley about this. And I have always maintained that some of these states who have these hope lotteries where they send kids to college, well, I had a kid that worked for me in Tennessee, and he said it didn't really help. They just made the tuition a whole lot more. But I have always thought, Alabama, if they were to ever do something like that, they should dedicate that money to K through 12. And then if we had the best secondary school system in America, that's where the factories are going to come. That's where people are going to go. But we don't have to go into lotteries anymore, because I want to talk about data centers.
I'm happy to talk about them. I do think that's another income stream if we're going to talk about that. The last piece, just to piggyback on what you just said, though, is the lottery would never pass unless it's tied to education. Right. To your point, and I think that's the way it should be.
Oh, and I think it should be tied to education too, but I just don't think anybody even has ever thought about putting that back in our K through 12 system.
Right.
And I don't know. I just think that would be a good way to do that. And I don't want to force data centers down your throat. So let's anything else that you want to talk about in the upcoming term that you're hopefully going to be elected to?
I'm just ready to get there. I mean, we're going to have a new governor. You're going to have a new lieutenant governor, but governor obviously sets a lot of agenda. But there are it's a three-legged stool as any government. So it's going to be interesting to see just the style differences. There's going to obviously be a new cabinet. Be interesting to see who that's comprised of. But I'm overly. I say overly. I'm very excited about what the next 4 years lay ahead. I think this is a big boost and shot in the arm. I think we're ready to go get them and just create a much better Alabama than we live in even today. So, and on the subject of data centers, I don't know if you wanted to prompt anything there. It sounds like that was on your mind, but the thing is, here in the city of Huntsville, we've been around data centers for a long time.
Right.
It just seems like this is just such a recent issue that has been a buzzword on the national level. Look, I fly into Dulles quite a bit for work or for legislative travel. Northern Virginia is covered up with data centers.
Oh, they have more than any place in the U.S.
Right. And I don't think there's anyone saying we need to be like Northern Virginia. I think that's a scare tactic. I think if you do it like you do any industry, and you be thoughtful about it, make sure that the power is not funded by the regular old ratepayer. So, my house isn't going to be suddenly have a double power bill because we put in a data center in our county. We did some legislation last year that prohibits some of that. So I do think giving local control is important, letting the local area to decide, because it has become so divisive. I think you'll lose a lot of your trust in government if you don't do something like that. But I do think a lot of the fears around it have been generated to be a political football.
Well, I think my take on that is I think the fears that are generated around data centers are what I would almost call just the hysterical voice of the masses.
Yep.
I don't think when people look at those things, they're saying, oh my God, my power bill is going to go up. We're not going to have water to drink. And that's not true, because you just nailed it. Look at it, learn from the examples of 3,000 plus data centers that exist already, and make sure that you plan accordingly. And that's really all you have to do, because a lot of the ones who I've seen against it on various and sundry programs on TV, it's just emotional stuff. It's not.
It is.
Nobody's getting up there and spouting facts. They're saying, I wanted to have a pasture full of cows, and now I'm not.
The irony that many of the people that are lambasting data centers are posting on social media from phones that are using the data centers.
Yeah, absolutely.
Social media is running off of them. So just look at what all the hyperscalers are doing. It's going to be important to have those in America. And, look, I think technologies will obviously evolve, but that's who we are as America. I mean, we're always looking for what's that next pinnacle, and we shouldn't have to fall back behind other countries just because we're fearful of something. But that's always been the case. I mean, we had the same fear about solar farms not too long ago.
Railroads a long time ago.
Sure, absolutely. So,
James, I was going to ask you because, I have some concerns about data centers, but I'm, coming from a point of everything is figure outable.
Right.
This is something, it's a necessary thing. And so what are your thoughts on what should be included in the regulation and oversight for these centers in Alabama?
Yeah, so I think the energy piece is very important. You can't just come into a community and soak up our energy and soak up our water supply. If you look at what's happening out west, water is becoming more important. I mean, you're having states actually battle over who controls which river and all that just due to the water supply.
Yeah, water rights are huge out west.
Absolutely. And I think they'll continue to come this direction as we utilize more of our natural resources too. The state of Alabama's got the most navigable fresh water in the United States out of any other state. So I think those things are important. Come in. You're going to build your own infrastructure, right? We've got the land. We have the access to the the employment base. Do we even have power on the grid? Can you supplement our generation? There's really two issues. There's the generation and then the transmission. Can you get the power there?
Right.
I'd love to see some of these guys put skin in the game on that, not just building a substation.
Right.
But actually helping to supply the generation.
Yeah, that was my next question.
And growing our grid.
Do the big companies like Alabama Power, TVA, and all like that, what is their take on it? How are they planning for to scale up? Is this part of something that they would plan to scale up like they would any other industry coming in?
Yeah, I don't know. It'd be interesting. TVA has undergone quite a rehaul under the Trump administration. For many years, the CEO of TVA has been the highest paid federal employee in America.
It certainly wasn't me.
Yeah. And
well, that's all well and good, but if he's earning that money, I don't have a problem.
Well,
and there's the rub.
Yeah, that's right. Our power rates are not dramatically lower than our surrounding areas is kind of pitched. And but no, it would be interesting to hear. At the end of the day, though, some of that lies with the legislature. So the powers in our hands, so to say. Obviously we're going to have a kind of an energy czar in this next administration due to some of the legislation that we've passed. We have an expanded public service commission. So they're going to have a lot of say-so in what we're doing on the data center front. But I do think there's a delicate balance. I think local control is important, but I also just don't think that the fear is quite as necessary as it has been lately. Great examples. We have had data centers for many years in Huntsville, Alabama, and I'm still here.
I'm still here. And, well, I think what has to happen is people such as yourself who are key leaders in the state, they have to allay those concerns and say, hey, folks, no, the world is not going to end. And guess what? You're still going to want to use AI. You're still going to want to use your smartphone.
Right.
You're still going to want to use the Internet. And I'm still going to want to pay the bills. So you got about 5 more minutes you can hang out with us?
Yeah, I do.
All right. Well, Brian, let's go ahead and take a break, and we'll come back, and we're done talking about data centers.
You're listening to The Point with Bill Crawford on Talk Radio WZZN.
This is Bill Crawford, host of The Point on Talk Radio WZZN. I recently had a stem cell procedure on my right knee from Dr. Charles Lee of Regenesis. Stem cells are harvested from your body and re-administered back into your body. This approach is painless, quick, and requires no lengthy rehab. My knee feels better already. Regenesis is located at 4025 Pepperwood Circle Southwest, Suite C, Huntsville, Alabama. Call 256-715-8193 or Google their website for more information. destination.
Take it right to the edge with Donato's Pizza. That's right, with Donato's, they don't waste any space. And if you're going to put 100 slices of pepperoni on a pizza, you need to go edge to edge. And that provolone cheese is smoked and aged in Wisconsin. All of Donato's produce comes from right here in the Tennessee Valley as well. And Donato's is more than just pizza. Check out the subs, calzones, and wings as well. 2 locations in the Valley to serve you, in Madison on Madison Boulevard and in Huntsville on the South Parkway. Donato's Pizza.
Baumhauer's Restaurant. Legendary food and legendary fun. Whether you're craving the freshest seafood from Alabama's Gulf Coast, juicy chicken or char-grilled steaks seared to succulent perfection, you're craving Baumhauer's Restaurant. Add to that a sports-themed atmosphere and HD flat screens every place you look. For a sneak peek at the menu, go to baumhauers.com. Legendary food, legendary fun. Baumhauer's Restaurant.
When a team sticks together, it shows in the way they work and the way they treat you.
We don't just hire great people, they stay. On average, our managers have been with us over 15 years, and company-wide turnover is under 3%.
It's a culture built on integrity and heart.
When you call, you get someone who knows your name, understands your business, and is invested in your success.
And that means service you can count on every time.
You want the right specialist for your recovery. At SportsMed Orthopedic Surgery and Spine Center, we understand every body is different. Your muscles and bones are unique, as is your body. Our SportsMed specialists offer innovative treatments and minimally invasive procedures, allowing you to quickly return to the life you love. Locations in Huntsville, Madison, Athens, and Decatur, and on the web at sportsmedalabama.com. Improving performance, improving lives.
Great food and the best live entertainment is what it's all about at the Furniture Factory Bar and Grill. Head to downtown Huntsville every Tuesday for karaoke on the only outdoor karaoke stage in North Alabama. Thursday night is the Valley's longest running and biggest bike night. Food and drink specials, giveaways, and live music on the patio. And the Furniture Factory menu is fully loaded with options from steaks to salads, plus a whole lot more. Featuring a weekday happy hour that starts at 3. 619 Meridian Street, downtown Huntsville, and online at FurnitureFactoryBarGrill.com.
When you call most roofing companies, all you'll hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming. At Fleming Roofing and Restoration, we're focused on your needs, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement. Folks around here trusted Fleming since 1965 for all their residential and commercial roofing needs. And as the area's storm damage experts, Fleming knows all the ins and outs of the insurance claims process. Log on FlemingHSV.com to schedule your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up. Your Fox 54 update.
I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A partly sunny sky this afternoon. Temperatures only climbing into the mid-80s, which is well below where we should be when you consider the fact that it is early August. A couple of passing showers are going to be possible through the heart of the afternoon, but I do think the vast majority of us are going to be dry. We drop into the mid-60s as we head into the overnight. Much the same for your Tuesday.
Your Fox 54 forecast. Only on Talk Radio WZZN.
Welcome back, everybody. This is Talk Radio WZZN, and this is The Point with Bill Crawford. And today we are visiting with State Representative from District 20, James Lomax, who is up for re-election on November 3rd. Handled the primary, I would have to say, with ease. I think you got 66% of the vote. That's mighty good. And
it was a good day.
Good.
Yeah.
It was a good day, I would imagine. So as far as your campaign goes, and then we'll talk about some other things, any highlights on that? Any stuff you need to mention that's coming up? Or is
I would just encourage everyone to go vote in the municipal election here in the city of Huntsville that comes up here in August. It's this month. So I've been deliberately considerate, so I haven't tried to go out and confuse people with asking them for their vote during this time period, because there is going to be an election here at the end of this month. And then from there, I'll be asking a lot more people for their vote in November, and I'll be bugging them quite a bit again, and just looking forward to rallying the troops and getting the win in November and continuing the good things we're doing.
Well, then you are doing good things. And speaking of that, let's talk a little bit about what your vision is for some of the things that need to happen in Alabama. We were chatting during the break. You know, you have a unique position where you have a a district that you represent, I happen to live in it, I know, that's got a lot of people in there whose needs are different than places in the rest of the state of Alabama. Yeah. And you've got to represent both of those people. So how do you strike that balance, and what are some of the key things you see that's in the future for the next 4 years that you'd like to support?
Well, it is a delicate balance, and not to get overly technical, which I probably am known to do from time to time, but I'll just say that, you do have to balance between what's good for the state and what's good for your district. And, I basically consider my district the city of Huntsville. There's a couple areas in the district that are unincorporated Madison County, but even then they accept city services. They're zoned for city school system, all that. So I'm pretty much the city of Huntsville's state representative. Some of the others cover it, but I'm the only one that lives in the city of Huntsville, and my district is all in the city of Huntsville for the most part. So, for the most part, when you're evaluating a bill, and we have thousands of bills that come through each and every session, the ones that actually make it to the floor that we vote on, you do have to consider, is it good for the state? And generally, if it's good for the state, it's going to be good for Huntsville. But there are sometimes when that's not. And like a great example last year, we had a bill that would have allowed the Alabama law enforcement agency, the state law enforcement agency, to take over basically a police department for a city of a certain size if it didn't meet certain metrics. It was essentially targeting the city of Montgomery. Montgomery has an awful crime rate, and they were struggling with police recruitment, and this is a way to maybe make that city safer. Well, here in the city of Huntsville, we have a great police department, bar none, one of the best, and we have a great, stable city leadership. The problem was, due to the classification of our city, we also are in the same classification with Montgomery. So this bill, if it had passed, would have also affected the city of Huntsville.
Right.
So the state could have essentially taken over the city of Huntsville's police department and also created some probably unnecessary reporting structures. So one of the things, the very first bill I plan to file when we get into session after this next election is to make the city of Huntsville have its own classification. Where we're our own tier. So if you have a tier of municipalities and there's a bill affecting those, we will be our own tier. So we're not going to fall in with a bunch of different cities. If somebody's targeting something to affect Mobile or Montgomery, it's not going to affect Huntsville. Right now, Birmingham pretty much has its own classification, and then we kind of fall in with Mobile and Montgomery, and that's just created a lot of issues. Second one is we got to really figure out this SSUT thing, simplified sales use tax. So that's every time you buy something online, you pay your flat, believe it's 8%, and that goes to the state, gets divvied up, gets sent out to the entire state. Well, what's happening is in municipalities such as Huntsville, there's more people buying things online in a municipality like Huntsville, producing more of that income. But it still goes down to the State House in Montgomery, gets divvied up and sent back across the state. So we're providing more of that income, but we're getting less of it back. And the problem there is more and more people are shopping online too. So that's less brick and mortar stores that are getting where we go get our full sales tax. So that's one of those issues that isn't just important for Huntsville; it's really important for the whole state. If you lived out in the county, you'd only pay the 4% sales tax, and right now you go buy something online, you'd pay 8%. So you're getting overtaxed if you live out in the county.
Well, now in this day and age, I would have to think that where those sales are coming from is readily identifiable. I would think it
is. And other states have done it. Over 30 other states have done what they call destination sourcing. So no matter where you live, whatever your local sales tax rate is, that's what you should pay on the internet when you buy something on the internet. The state of Alabama doesn't do it that way. It's a crazy formula. It gets sent down to the bureaucrats. They split it up, send it back to different places. And I just don't think a city like Huntsville should be subsidizing Holly Pond.
Well, now, in the old Bill Crawford way of thinking, that is a law that just seems to be just busting open with common sense.
Well, it's socialism in my eyes a little bit. Maybe that's hyperbole, but
I'm talking about doing it like you're saying.
Yeah, I think the current law is give from the rich or take from the rich and give to the poor. And when it comes to purchasing online, which more and more people are doing, and it costs more and more to maintain and run these cities. I mean, you need to have Mayor Battle here on this show and just ask him about the cost to do business for the city of Huntsville over the past 5 years, and it's ballooned.
Oh yeah.
Good luck going and hiring a police officer and paying them what you were paying them 5 years ago. You can't do it.
Well, now, are you going to have opposition to that? Because, like I say, that seems to be just like it just makes sense.
To play a devil's advocate, okay, so we say Holly Pond, so they're getting the full 8%. Now then they're going to get basically what the 4% like they would. So where does that income stream get replaced for Holly Pond? Because they've made decisions on that money coming in.
Well, Holly Pond would have to go decide if they want to raise their own local taxes like the city of Huntsville's done.
Yeah.
That's one of the things that these counties especially are upset about because it is an income stream. So we'd have to phase it in some way.
Yeah.
That's the battle.
And again, everything's figure-outable.
That's right.
So, I mean, it's just somebody's going to make some hard decisions.
But
that's right.
The question I asked, though, are you going to face opposition in this? Because it seems to me like it just makes sense to, if you're paying for something and you're paying a tax on it, the tax ought to come back to the place where it's paid. I mean, that just...
It makes almost too much sense to me. But yeah, he had a great comment. Some of these smaller areas, the counties, a lot of them have issues because right now it's a gravy stream. And some of them, they do have real issues where they've already bonded against that money that's going to come, and that pot is growing year over year. So we got to be delicate with it. I mean, we just don't want to jerk the rug out from anybody. But there has to be a way to create a little bit more parity where, if you're producing the tax revenue, you should have the lion's share at least.
Well, now is this a bipartisan supported issue, or is it totally partisan politics involved here?
I almost think it's more geographical.
Oh, okay.
It's where you live and who you represent. Someone that represents a more rural area would see this as just an issue affecting the big cities and want to keep things as it is. So that's just one of those kind of political fights that you kind of get roped up in, and you see where the lines are drawn. But to me, it makes perfect sense. I'm a Republican, and I believe in fairness and a square deal, like Theodore Roosevelt would say. To me, it makes perfect sense.
But what you're telling me, if just to clarify this, and then we'll wrap this up, is this could be even within the Republican Party. It could there could be issues.
Oh, I think so.
All right. Well, hey, James, we got to get out of here. Tell our listeners why they should vote for you on November 3rd.
Well, hey, I've been able to get things done. I'm proud to serve as our majority whip, helping to put great laws into effect and get things passed and get things done for the people of North Alabama and the people of Huntsville. And I want to continue to be Huntsville's representative.
Well, hey, I think you've done a great job, and we love having you on the show, and we'll have you back again before November.
All right.
Thanks for dropping by today.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
You're listening to The Point with Bill Crawford on Talk Radio WZZN.
Take it right to the edge with Donato's Pizza. That's right, with Donato's, they don't waste any space. And if you're going to put 100 slices of pepperoni on a pizza, you need to go edge to edge. And that provolone cheese is smoked and aged in Wisconsin. All of Donato's produce comes from right here in the Tennessee Valley as well. And Donato's is more than just pizza. Check out the subs, calzones, and wings as well. 2 locations in the valley to serve you, in Madison on Madison Boulevard and in Huntsville on the South Parkway. Donato's Pizza.
Bill Crawford here for the Regenesis Stem Cell Center, the place to go for golfers' elbow pain. Traditional treatments require significant time away from the golf course and often don't work. Dr. Charles Lee can treat golfers' elbow using platelet-rich plasma extracted from the patient's blood and get you back on the golf course after a 2-hour visit. Golfer's elbow can be permanently eliminated for a fixed price of $585. Golf season is here. Enjoy pain-free golf with just one visit to Regenesis.
We have been selling printer supplies for 50 years. Today, we've made it easier than ever to make sure our customers get the best price and the best support.
You can order supplies online with our guaranteed low prices, saving 40% and getting our award-winning on-site service for free.
There's no catch. Ask any of our customers. We want to be more than just a vendor. We want to be a partner in your success.
In the market for a new or used car? Look no further than Hyundai of Decatur. With a large inventory of new, used, and certified pre-owned Hyundai models, Greenway Hyundai of Decatur is here to service all of your Hyundai needs. Come visit our exceptional service department as well. With state-of-the-art facilities and a caring team of automotive professionals waiting to service your vehicle, make Hyundai of Decatur your #1 choice for all your automotive needs. Give them a call today at 256-274-0279 or visit them online at greenwayhyundaiofdecatur.com.
Your home of the Rocket City Trash Pandas is Talk Radio WZZN.
And I'm still hoping, waiting, praying I did not die in vain.
Welcome back, everybody. We are glad you chose to spend some of your Monday afternoon with us. That was State Representative James Lomax, who I tend to think is going to be one of the shining stars of our state government for many, many years to come. He's already had a lot of success in Montgomery, and he has more to come. And I like having James on the show. He gives us some good insight into what we need to know. Tomorrow, hope you get a chance to tune us in. We're going to have Josh Carey on, and he's going to talk to us about what's happening at the Trash Pandas tomorrow.
Yeah,
which is
the not just Sprocket's going to be the only raccoon celebrated at the Trash Pandas games.
It's Jimothy night. And if you don't know who Jimothy the raccoon is, just get on that handy-dandy Google and Google up Jimothy the raccoon. We're also going to have a little bit of a discussion about Trump accounts for kids by one who happens to have one of those, tell you how to do it. And lastly, we're going to have a discussion about the war in Ukraine with retired Colonel Mike Ford. So, interesting day. Brian, anything going on tonight folks need to know about?
Nope. Tonight, the Trash Pandas are in town starting tomorrow. So we'll have that here for you tomorrow night, starting at 6:20 on Talk Radio WZZN.
All right. Hey, folks, glad you joined us. We'll be back tomorrow. This is The Point with Bill Crawford and producer extraordinaire Brian Temple. Keep our soldiers and sailors and airmen, Marines in your thoughts and prayers. I'm out.
And y'all look out for each other, won't you?
Stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA.
HD 97.7.2 WZZN FM Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. Talk Radio